It's been some kind of year for Kenny Bernstein, making up those points now in Joe Amato. We move to the Pro Stock semifinal. Darrell Alderman and Scott Jeffrey on. Alderman with the experience and the lane choice.
Well, you can bet that Scott Jeffrey on sitting back in the staging lane saw Kenny Bernstein win on a hole shot. That's what he needs to do if he's to defeat the man you're riding with right now, Darrell Alderman. And Jeffrey on had a horrible reaction time in the previous round. That may have been mechanical, though. It's not always the driver's fault. Here you get a good head-on look as they stage. Let's see if they play any mind games at all. Now both drivers accomplishing a very smooth stage. Sometimes one driver might intentionally slow down the process to look for any mental advantage he might get. Not so here. Good, clean drag racing. Well, you never saw Scott Jeffrey on, and neither did Darrell Alderman. Alderman goes to the final round with a 7:28. They have it when they need it. Jeffrey on departs at 7:36. Both run 189 miles per hour. Who will face Alderman in the final? Larry Morgan or Vince Corey?
Well, I'll take Larry Morgan because I like his confidence, which it takes to get a good reaction time, and he's got a good performance to match it.
And let's not forget, this is the biggest moment, the finest hour of the young career of Vince Corey in this Pro Stock semifinal. He is hoping to match up with Darrell Alderman, the veteran that everybody is shooting for, and right now, he's down at the end of the track with Steve Evans.
Darrell Alderman has never won the U.S. Nationals. You're one round away from accomplishing that.
Yeah, I know. The guys back at the shop, Wayne County Speed Shop, and myself would like nothing more than to win the U.S. Nationals. It'd make our year complete if we could win this race.
And points-wise, things couldn't have worked out better with Warren going out first round. You just keep amassing more and more of a cushion.
Yeah, each round you make, that's 200 points, so we'll take that.
See you in the final.
Thank you.
He is already there. Now, will it be Morgan or Curry? And it appears right now they've got problems with the Curry car.
Oh, what a disappointment. The U.S. Nationals, the biggest race in drag racing. You're in the semifinals, and you can't make the car go. Oh, that's a terrible thing to happen.
Now, Larry Morgan does have something to beat, though, and that's Darrell Alderman's elapsed time we just saw, 7:28. If he can beat that, he will make the decision as to who runs what lane. That timer stops. No. 7:31. So the lane choice will go to Darrell Alderman.
Definite disappointment for the crew as they push off Vince Curry's car, but a positive weekend. He'll always remember the 91 U.S. Nationals. Pairing set now for the final in the Pro Stock. Alderman and Morgan. Alderman will have the lane choice. We move back to the pit area, though, and Roland Leong, the owner of Jim White's car, mixing fuel as they are working to get ready for the final in the funny car division. White going up against John Force when we return. Beautiful shot of Indianapolis Raceway Park, where they put together a new record in attendance at 150,000 over the 5-day period. And right now they're getting ready in the Pat Austin pit area. He is going to face Kenny Bernstein in the Top Fuel final. Lee Beard is right now preparing a brand new blower for that car.
Well, that's a luxury the fuel racers have. Not so in Pro Stock. And here is the final. Darrell Alderman, Larry Morgan. Normally aspirated engines. That's an engineer's term for it. No supercharging and no turbocharging. But I guarantee you, both drivers right now are on full boost because this is the biggest race of the year. Morgan has won it before. He knows the feeling. Alderman never has. Oldsmobile versus Dodge. There you see the Castrol Oldsmobile. Green and white. The red and white car on the right side of your screen is a Dodge. No games being played again. Good, clean staging. It's going to be Alderman. And a great reaction time makes the margin of victory greater than it should have been. It was a 7:29 to a 7:30. Let's go down to the starting line. A jubilant crew for Darrell Alderman.
It wasn't your best run of the day, but he took a starting line advantage and he looked good.
Well, we were just able to stay good and consistent all day and keep the clutch right for him. And he just done such a phenomenal job this year that he just gets better every round.
How's your first U.S. Nationals feel?
We just love it. It's absolutely the greatest thing that's ever happened to us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
David Hutchins, the crew chief for Darrell Alderman, and now the moment we've all been waiting for. Jim White and John Force in the funny car final.
They put the starters on these big 5,000 horsepower engines. They put a little alcohol into the injectors to get them started. Every crew member has to do his job perfect. In drag racing, you make no mistakes or you lose. A lot of tension, a lot of pressure, and this is where John Force is the best. They've won the last 3 races in a row. They perform under pressure.
But before White meets Force, let's find out about that big win for Darrell Alderman, his first at the U.S. Nationals. Steve?
You've won the Winston Championship, but still every driver dreams of winning Indy, the U.S. Nationals.
Yes, this is another dream come true, as I've been saying. This is the biggest single event any race car driver could win, and all of us wanted it real bad.
Here's a guy that wanted it real bad, wants to shake your hand, Larry Morgan.
Darrell Alderman winning the U.S. Nationals for the first time over Larry Morgan. It's been a phenomenal year for Darrell Alderman. And now after 14 races in the 18-race season-long series, Alderman way out in front as Austin Coyle is backing up John Force into position. The burnouts are complete as we get ready for the funny car final. John Force and Jim White in the dream matchup. And just before they came to the line, Steve spent some time in John Force's pit.
Even though Jim White has been running the big numbers and getting all the publicity, there's 3 members of John Force's crew who have not lost their confidence at all. His 3 daughters, Ashley, Brittany, and Courtney, 8, 5, and 3. Ashley, what do you think? Can he beat Jim White?
Yeah.
Will he have to outrun him? Can he hole shot him? What do you think?
Well, he probably will outrun him, but if he can't outrun him, he'll probably leave on the lights early.
What do you think about Daddy's chances, Brittany?
I think he will win and stuff, and sometimes he doesn't. With that one other guy, Otto Pops, because he beat him that other last time.
You are your father's daughter. Courtney, what are you going to do tonight after the races with Daddy?
Just look at him and smile at him.
Oh, that's so nice. Good luck, kids.
Little did we know that John Force had that extended crew and that kind of support team.
Talk about an inspiration to win. They're right there in the tow vehicle. John Force is hoping that Jim White doesn't have those speed secret cylinder heads back on. They've had a crew working full-time since the second round trying to get them ready again. We don't know. And they're not saying. They want John Force certainly to think they're capable of another 288-mile-an-hour blast. Beautiful start. The kids cheering Daddy on, but it's not enough. The big numbers are back for Jim White. 527, 283 miles per hour. Force losing at a 533, 272. Jubilation on the starting line. Jim White, the U.S. National Champion.
For all practical purposes, the cars leave the line dead even. Both of these drivers were up for this tremendous race. The adrenaline was flowing. As the cars start to move down course, it seems like it's going to be an even race. But the Jim White car begins to make that traditional horsepower that it has displayed all weekend long and stretches the win out to a full car length.
How does it feel to win your first ever U.S. Nationals?
God, I can't even start. What a dream. I mean, a dream. It's something that you just... when you're a kid, you just grow up thinking that it could happen, and it only happens to a couple of guys like a Don Perdome or somebody big like that.
You're big now.
What a thrill.
You turned the air conditioning on at half track. Did that distract you at all when the hatch blew off?
I knew it was going to blow off. When we made the burnouts and I stopped and I flipped it forward, it broke the hinge. And I saw it, so I backed up as quick as I could. The guys, I'd let them take a look at it and see if they needed to fix something. They just closed it like normal, and away we went.
Could it be said now that the speed secret cylinder heads that were missing in the semis were back on for the final?
That could be said.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Steve.
So in the season-long point standings, John Force still out in front. Jim White, though, has moved into second place ahead of Mike Dunn. Dunn went out in the first round of the Nationals. They are rolling out the car of Kenny Bernstein. They're getting ready for the Top Fuel Finals against Pat Austin when we come back to Indianapolis.